As you can tell, we have a bumper crop of MBA graduates this year. That was quite the procession. My name is David Frazier, and I have the privilege to serve as the Associate Dean for the Tippie School of Management. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the Henry B. Tippie School of Management, I welcome our soon-to-be graduates, their families, friends, and significant others to our 2014 spring commencement. This event celebrates the great achievements of our graduates from all of our Tippie School of Management MBA programs. These programs include the full-time program, the MBA for professionals and managers with locations in Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and the Quad Cities, the executive MBA program, also with locations in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, and Des Moines, the Hong Kong MBA program, and the Chimba MBA program in Italy. The diversity of our programs is a strength that allows us to reach and touch many stakeholders, particularly in this period of persistent global change. In this regard, we offer one MBA degree, the University of Iowa, Master of Business Administration, in all of these programs, united by a common vision, goals, and value proposition. Now, as you can see from the flags displayed here today, which represent the countries of origin of our new Tippie graduates, the Tippie MBA is truly an international program dedicated to producing global managers with the capability to compete in the global marketplace. Yes, it does take a global village to prepare students for the global economy. It's wonderful to have family and friends here from all over the world, along with our faculty and staff, to acknowledge the accomplishments of this year's graduates. The ultimate objective for our graduates is to add value with integrity, innovation, and impact to their families, the companies that hire them, and to society at large. You, the graduates, have earned the celebration as the culmination of your hard work, and we are very proud to add you to our worldwide Tippie alumni family. At this point, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce my colleagues on the platform, and I'll ask them individually to stand as I read their names. Sarah Fisher-Gardiel, Dean, Henry B. Tippie College of Business. Diane Dillon-Ridgley, Director, Interface Incorporated, our keynote speaker for today. Sally Mason, President, the University of Iowa. Kurt Anstreicher, Senior Associate Dean, Henry B. Tippie College of Business. Thomas Gruca, Professor and Faculty Director of the Marketing Career Academy. Amy Christoph Brown, Professor and Departmental Executive Officer, Management and Organizations. Mark Penno, Professor, Accounting. Thomas Reitz, Professor and Faculty Director of the Finance Career Academy. Gary Russell, Professor and Departmental Executive Officer, Marketing. Barrett Thomas, Associate Professor and Faculty Director of the Strategic Innovation Career Academy. Anand Vij, Professor, Finance. Ann Villamil, Adjunct Professor, Economics. And I will ask the front row to be seated. And now the staff of the School of Management. Colleen Downey, Assistant Dean of the Professional and Managers MBA program. Jody Schaefer, Assistant Dean of the Full-Time MBA program. Don Kluber, Director of the Executive MBA program. Jason Corpus, Business Director of the Marketing Career Academy. Nadia Dwight, Director of Student Services. Jana Cloque, Director of Career Services. Michelle Pontarelli, Director of the Quad Cities MBA PM program. Nicole Vogt, Director of the Cedar Rapids MBA PM program. Mark Winkler, Director of the Business Solutions Center. Catherine Zaharis, Business Director of the Finance Career Academy, and Thomas Walsh, Director of the Des Moines MBA PM program. Thank you. And now I would like to ask the Dean of the Henry B. Tippie College of Business to say a few words of welcome and then introduce our keynote speaker for this commencement program. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Sarah Gardio.
Thank you, Dave, and good morning to everyone. As the Dean of the College of Business, I always take these opportunities at the end of an academic year to reflect on what we're doing and the students that are going out the door, what they're walking into, and how well we've prepared them for the next chapters in their lives. I can tell you that my experience is that endings and beginnings come in pairs. So we are at the end of your programs. We're closing this particular chapter of your life, and I know for many of you that's a great relief. That is because MBA programs are so intensive, and it's just a fire hose, and these students have just been soaking up as much knowledge and information and skills as they can during their months with us, and trying to take advantage of everything that we have to offer. And that's important because the world they're going into is changing and demanding so much of them. The bar seems to go up all the time in terms of the educational preparation for success. So what we try to do is create a toolkit, if you will, for our students while they're here. And what I have to question is, how well that toolkit will serve them. And here are my thoughts. And it comes from an article that was written several years ago from some research done by the London Business School. And they asked over 100 business executives from over 20 different countries to comment on what they thought the requirements were for success for business executives in the global marketplace. And indeed, that's the question for us. And they put together a report card, and they ended up talking about 3 buckets that they think are needed, 3 categories. And the first category that they said was necessary for success was something that they called knowledge. That's something that we know a little bit about in universities. And here they talked about things like global economics, finance, decision sciences, corporate governance, marketing, technology. And certainly you've had an immersion in that. The second bucket they talked about, they labeled skills. And this is less knowledge than what do you do with that knowledge? How do you put that knowledge to work for you and for the organizations you work for? And the set of skills that they listed sounded like this: dealing with ambiguity and uncertainty, presentation skills, decision making, team building and teamwork, networking, collaboration. And I can assure you that our students have been working on those skill sets as well as during the time that they've been with us. And I'm pretty sure we've provided a great foundation in those areas, and one that you will continue to build on, because the world requires continuous education from here on out. You are not finished. We will continue the journey. The third category is the one that was most interesting to me, and they called this attributes. I think a better word for it might be character traits. And these are another set of characteristics they think will serve successful business executives well. Listen to this set: unyielding integrity, worldly awareness, thriving on change, judgment and intuition, demanding excellence, perseverance and tenacity, adaptability and responsiveness, passion and persuasion, curiosity, creativity, self-awareness and self-confidence, boundless energy to motivate and energize, and the capacity and the desire to learn. It was this third bucket, if you will, that brought me up short a little bit, because I know that we've done some things to influence the extent to which you have those kinds of characteristics, but those character traits come from far, far deeper sources. Many influences in your lives come together to create that particular set of attributes, including your parents, many of whom are in this room with us, your friends, your teachers, organizations that you belong to, movies that you've watched, books that you've read, television, that's scary, mentors, leaders, and on and on. Frankly, I think this third category may be the most important of the three, because I ask myself, if we've given you a great foundation in those first two sets, what are you going to continue to do to develop the most important set of skills of all? And I'll give you a hint about that. I heard Alice Walker, the author of The Color Purple, speak one time, and she said, "We have to be careful what we feed our souls." And I believe that she's right. I believe it's our soul food, what we feed ourselves, that develops that third list, because I'm pretty sure that if you go into the world and you feed yourselves diets of cynicism, rigidity, selfishness, arrogance, intolerance, and greed, you will become what you eat. At the same time, I think if we choose with care how we spend our time, who we spend our time with, and what we're doing with our time, we might just as well feed our souls diets that include optimism, flexibility, compassion, tolerance, and even appreciation of other people who are different than we are. The spirit of giving, sensitivity to the needs of others. We will become something quite different under that second diet. So I know the traits they talked about are truly important for business success, but what I want you to also remember is that those traits that are in that third bucket will certainly determine not only who you are, how happy you will live, and the legacy that you leave behind. So, bon appetit. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker for today. Diane Dillon-Ridgley is the Executive Director of the Women's Network for a Sustainable Future. For over 30 years, she has worked on issues of environment, sustainability, gender, corporate responsibility, both domestically and internationally. She's a noted keynote speaker on a variety of national and international events, and truly her resume is too large for me to detail, so I'm just going to give you a sample at this point. Let me hit some highlights. In the 1980s and 90s, Diane Dillon-Ridgley worked with farmers and creditors in advance of the foreclosure during the farm crisis. In the 90s, she was head of the Iowa Association for Human Rights Agencies. In 1992, 97, and 2002, she was appointed by the White House to be the U.S. delegate to the Earth Summits. She's the only person to have served on all three delegations. Former President Clinton appointed her to his Council on Sustainability Development from 1994 to 1999. In the year 2000, she chaired the Millennium Development Goals Project at the UN, being appointed by the Secretary General. She is the founding chair emerita of Plains Justice, an environmental law center for the Great Plains states. She is a trustee and a board chair for the Center for International Environmental Law. In the past two presidential elections, she's been a member of the Presidential Climate Action Project. She is a member of the Green Mountain College Board of Trustees, who awarded her an honorary Doctor of Law, the Auburn University School of Human Sciences, and proudly, the Tippie College of Business Marketing Institute. Most importantly of all, she lives right here in Iowa City with us. I am delighted to introduce our keynote speaker.
Good morning. Now, this has got to be participatory, okay? All right. Well, thank you. Whenever somebody reads that list off, the only thing I can think of is I feel old or tired, or maybe I just couldn't keep a job. I'm so honored to be here. I've come several times in the past to be in the audience and be supportive of different graduates, some of whom have been mentees and friends and colleagues. So it's a real treat and truly an honor for me to be here today. I want to thank both Dean Gardial and Associate Dean Frazier, and especially President Mason, for having me come today. But I have a few minutes, and in those few minutes, we've got to talk about some things. Change, change, change. 2014 is turning out to be a year of shifts, transitions, and it seems even a generational change moment. Of course, for graduates, it is always a time of change and transition, perhaps the greatest to date in your lives. It truly is showtime for you now. One of the best things about giving a commencement address is it's one of life's happiest occasions, right up there with weddings and births, and maybe some of you are packing in all three, because I can hear some young people in the room. Now, I know the reason I was asked to speak today, aside from being, as David said, close by, and I had put down in my original remarks cheap, and a friend said, Diane, you should never call yourself cheap. You might be inexpensive, but you're never cheap, which reads free. But besides that, I'm also a member of the SOMAC here at Tippie. But the major reason is, of course, the 30-plus years I've worked in shaping and creating environmental sustainability, particularly in the corporate world, both domestically and internationally. So I would be remiss to not undergird my comments from that perspective. But in these few minutes I have, I'm not going to give you one last lecture or treatise on the transition to the age of sustainability in this post-industrial era, or how the components of technology and the information age have catapulted us to the threshold of a post-fossil fuel, socially responsible integration giving depth and context to CSR, concepts of new institutions for socialpreneurs, and oh yes, I forgot disruptive, because these days everything has to be disruptive. Obviously, I'm poking fun a bit at some of the new terminology and nomenclature, but seriously, there are very few times in history when the change and shifts in society and business have come so fast. Perhaps not since the Renaissance itself and the introduction of the printing press has society and all of us, students, faculty, and practitioners alike, been on as steep a learning curve. Never has the half-life of knowledge of what we know for sure itself been so short. It means a bumpy ride for all, but how exciting! The challenges are great, perhaps the greatest in human history, and without exaggeration, then too are the opportunities. Now, when I was about to graduate, a very long time ago, the Cuyahoga River had actually been on fire. And for far too much of industry, strip mining and clear cutting were seen merely as efficient and acceptable modes of operation. The consequences were remote, if considered at all, and the goal was a bottom line maximum natural resource extraction. Sometimes it was ignorance, sometimes it was knowing better, but economic models had no calculation for what we now call externalities, or for the monetary value for nature prior to its being in the production cycle itself, but mostly just a flat-out disregard for the value of a cost to and a cost for nature. But now we're on a planet at 7 billion of us, and our precious blue planet, our impact has changed all of that, especially as an industrial society has forced us to mature, to be aware of the connections, in short, to be responsible. Some companies and some institutions and some individuals far sooner than others have done so. And that's one reason for me it's been an honor to serve on the Interface Board of Directors these past 18 years, the first 14 of which I was able to work with the founder and icon, the radical industrialist Ray Anderson, before he passed away all too soon in 2011. If you've never read his books, I hope you will. But what can I say to you in 2014 to be encouraging to prepare you for your work and your challenges ahead? Honestly, I envy you. I envy your road ahead, even though the challenges are some of the greatest that have ever faced humanity. I still envy you the opportunity, your moment. You each have the chance, and I hope you embrace the responsibility to determine what kind of world everyone will live in, more so than even my generation. Tomorrow, by the way, will be the 60th anniversary of the landmark Supreme Court decision, Brown versus Board of Education. Now, I was part of the first generation to start kindergarten, so you can probably add that up, to start kindergarten in school after that decision, to come of age through the civil rights legislation that opened America and impacted the end of colonialism in the so-called global South. I happen to reject the term third world, because the reality is so evidenced by the curriculum and the agenda at Tippie, a global world in which we all work. You have even greater challenges of environmental and social concerns that face you today, but you also have new tools. And most of all, you have already done one thing very well in choosing your school, the University of Iowa. We have a legacy rich in historic innovation, whether you were born here in Iowa or you came to Iowa fully grown like I did. While here, I hope you have learned from the ethic of the land, the legacy of courage and groundbreaking innovation and creation from the likes of the Aldo Leopolds, the Norman Borlaugs, the Mary Louise Smiths, James Hansons, and George Washington Carvers, all of whom were Iowans. Not perfect, but pioneers each. The future of the corporate world will need that pioneering spirit and fervor if we are to prevail. The impact of your decisions, the choices you make, as well as the choices you reject, will shape the future for thousands and thousands of people. And you should know, I have faith in you. Business got us here, and it is the only institution far-reaching enough to get us out, but only if we bring different thinking and new calculus of values that respect all life systems, the interdependence of all ecosystems. That's a tall order, but as I said, I have faith in you. I know you will bring a passion and a commitment to work relentlessly for tomorrow, and not just for money, but money's okay too. Now, that was a very generous introduction, and aside from feeling a bit old, as I said, when 40 years of accomplishments are rattled off, when you're my age, you'll have a long list too, I'm certain of it. And there were those who had faith in me, which made all the difference in everything I have ever done. The Tippie faculty and administrators have faith in you too. Now, I'll let you in on a little secret. Make no mistake, when you see me standing here at this microphone and podium, I am not alone. I just look like I'm alone. In fact, it is so crowded at this podium, there is hardly room for everyone. Both my grandmothers are here. Rebecca Covington Harding, who studied and sang German Lieder at Fisk University, or my grandmother, Nell Scott Bishop Dillon, that was actually only one marriage, who was the only woman in and the chair of the business department at Langston University in Oklahoma. She happened to have had George Washington Carver as her faculty advisor at Tuskegee. Also here, my father, Harold, a mechanical engineer, or his brother, Gus, who was an architect, both of whom were Tuskegee Airmen in the service. My mother, Evelyn, who was a clinical psychologist who treated hundreds and hundreds of autistic children in her practice. My grandfather, James Granville Harding, after whom I'm named, who finished medical school almost 100 years ago in 1917, is here as well, and I'm being choked by this little thing, but okay. But I'm hopeful that his biography will be printed by the time we have the centenary of his graduation. But in addition to people in my family, there's Mrs. Irish, my 8th grade grammarian, and Madame Couture, who taught me French for 6 years, or Dr. Joyce Mitchell Cook, who had the honors program at Howard and with whom I suffered through 4 years of reading Kierkegaard. Ulla Sharon, my Russian ballet mistress, who was the tiniest tyrant anyone has ever loved, or former Congresswoman Bella Abzug, who literally sent me around the world for women's rights and justice issues. And if I had an hour to talk, I could fill it all listing the generous and giving teachers, colleagues, public officials in the United States and so many other countries who helped to shape my path. There is hardly room for me because the me was shaped by all of them and so many others. So please always remember, you did not get there alone, and in turn, make sure that you are generous with your time and your financial support for your alma mater and others you encounter along the way. Now, you have a sense of the team that I carry around with me always. And as poet Gwendolyn Brooks said often, we are each other's charge and we are each other's business. I believe in the power of moments to be transformative. You will have to figure out what you believe, and I do hope you will very soon take some time to do just that. It will serve you well in those moments of crisis, that moment of decision. It may come suddenly, sometimes it's big and major and obvious, but sometimes the request is tiny, and it's a request to compromise yourself, to chip away at your soul, as Dean Gardner was talking about, that soul, a little piece at a time. And if you don't know what you believe, if you haven't taken that time to figure it out, you may get lost. The future can't afford to lose any of you. You are each precious to us. Now, last Sunday was Mother's Day, and I know I sound a little bit more like a mother than a commencement speaker, but that's okay. I am a mother, and I'm also a daughter, and that reminds me that we are each here at our moment in time with an infinite amount of past behind us, but also infinity before us. We must decide how we spend that currency of our time. We have a lot of work to do. Just remember, I have faith in you, and we have faith in you. Now, there's something that I like to do whenever I give commencement speeches. So I want all of you to stand up and turn around and face the people who have supported you. Now, you're not just each other, to the families who sacrificed, who worked, who prayed, who hoped, who wanted, and who knew that you could do this. Please give them a hand. We were saying, just as we were coming up, that sometimes the happiest faces at graduations are grandparents, because it just means so much to a grandparent, to a grandmother, to a grandfather, to see this precious child that they have seen come into the world and accomplish so much. Today is truly a wonderful celebration, and you should be incredibly proud of what you have done. Now, I leave you with this thought, and it's built on a quote by Maya Angelou, whom I first met actually on this campus at the University of Iowa in the mid-1980s with Darwin Turner. One is not necessarily born with courage, but one is born with potential. But without courage, we cannot practice any other virtue with consistency. We can't be kind, we can't be true, merciful, generous, or honest. So today, I leave you with hope, but I ask, for your courage. Thank you.
President Mason, will you join me at this time? Will the candidates for the degree Master of Business Administration please rise? President Mason, these candidates, having completed all the requirements of the degree Master of Business Administration, are recommended to you by the faculty of the Henry B. Tippie College of Business for the conference of this degree.
Thank you, Dean Gardiel. On recommendation of the faculty of the Henry B. Tippie College of Business and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents, State of Iowa, I confer on each of you the degree Master of Business Administration as qualified and designated. Congratulations, you did it. Will the graduates please be seated? The graduates will be introduced by Tom Walsh.
As our graduates are introduced today, you'll notice some are wearing gold cords on their robes. Those cords identify those graduates whose high level of academic achievement in the MBA program has earned the designation of graduating with distinction. This designation is equivalent to graduating with honors as an undergraduate. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to announce the MBA class of 2014. This is a time for celebration. Families and friends, your applause and cheers are encouraged. Joanna Acevedo. Omar Ahmad. Javier Alvarado. Nicholas Amato. Soibi Andrew Jaja. Eduardo Antasano. Melinda Appleby. Ganesh Armugam. Nadine Arnaout. Stacy Artikov. Steve Austin. Shravan Avula. Weston Babbitt. Monica Bonsal. Michael Barkalow. Robin Barnett. Nikhil Barve. Suresh Basnet. Peter Bellows. Dustin Boring. Dustin Borer. Janie Borer. Kevin Brem. Chad Brick. Jason Brummond. Matt Buckingham. Tyler Burns. Valerie Bussell. Brandon Butters. Jason Calhoun. Andrew Cannon. Jason Cannon. Evelyn Cardenas. Josh Carey. John Carter. Brent Cheeseman. Sachin Chopra. Timothy Conley. Rich Connell. Erica Connor. Chelsea Cooling. Tyler Cooper. Thomas Cornell. Jeffrey Curran. Serena Dahlhammer. Amber Davis. Dan Davis. Nabil DeAndrade. Elise Dreher. Joe Duker. James Egdorf. Brady Eilers. Lawrence Epperly. T.K. Everett. Abby Ferguson. Jennifer Fredine. Tyson Friday. Ashton Frierson. Amy Gardy. Vijay Gantalo Mohini. Tricia Goddard Shepard. Margaret Grattan. Tad Griffith. Karthik Gunasekaram. Scott Huck. Haitham Hajir. Christina Hamilton. Nicholas Hansen. Emily Heringe. Maurice Harris. Tony Hartman. Dwayne Hatcher. Brennan Hawley. Nicholas Helsper. Jim Henderson. John Herring. Dan Hogan. Laura Hogel. Sean Hogel. Javrier Horn. Ashley Hubler. Muhammad Hussein. Bing Jacoby. Harshvardhan Jha. James Johansson. Lisa Johnson. Deborah Johnston. Grayson Jones. Vijay Jujavarapu. Matt Cayley. Andrew Kaler. Harikrishnan Kesavan Nair. Mohammed Faisal Khan. Rex Crone. Brian Larkin. Steve Lawrence. Connie Lee. Aaron Lehman. Hua Feng Lin. Ryan Lindsay. Jared Laughlin. Robert Lorenzen. Peter Mathis. Carolyn MacArthur. Aaron McConaughey. Nicole McCown. Kim McDonald. Darren Mead. Andrew Miner. Sarah Monson. John Morgan. Barbara Muller. Seth Munier. Cole Murray. Kalyan Mysore. Bradley Nagel. Abel Nazareth. Kendra Neese. Sean Neff. Kyle Neiman. Ram Niwas. Samuel Oguntoye. Trey Olson. Elizabeth Otting. Ganseng O. Darren Packabush. Tarakeshwari Paga. Chirant Parikh. Susan Parker. Brian Perry. Heather Perry. Justin Peterson. Paulette Peterson. Hui Pham. George Phillips. Marcus Pollard. Paul Post. Elizabeth Quinn. John Raid. Sachin Ramteki. May Rao. Srinivas Rao. Tyler Rasmussen. Rahul Rathi. Abhishek Raut. Dabarati Ray. Maggie Reeves. Justin Reynolds. Cassie Rattler. Brad Russell. Pankaj Sachdeva. Kanu Salaria. Kay Sanchez. Brent Schenk. Clint Schneider. Dan Schrapp. Jamie Schumacher. Andrew Schwartz. Jennifer Celine. Rajan Sengazani Thanagachalam. Eva Schaefer. Asim Sheikh. Catherine Scheller. Luke Shepard. Preeti Shrivastava. Gregory Simon. Ben Sitzman. Brenton Smith. Craig Sparks. Jenny St. Clair. Lisa Steffen. Beverly Straw. Jay Streff. Craig Sutton. Sean Svark. Scott Zurich. Diana Taylor. Scott Tedrow. Lynette Telline. David Visson. Brian Vitti. Edward Wallace. Dean Wallstrom. Jesse Webb. Chad Weldon. Stephanie Wells. Renee Welter. Tim Wendt. Ryan Wheeler. Aaron Wickner. Doug Williams. Steve Winter. Corey Wise. Emily Wynn. John Yates. Robert Yeager. Rosie Hong Jia Zhang. Patrick Zhao. Sanjay Zope. Puneet Narad.
That was fun. In case you haven't figured it out, there's another photo opportunity backstage. So I get to do a few minutes of filler while we're waiting for all of the graduates to cycle back out. As the students know, this is my first year in this capacity here at Iowa, just about coming up on that 12-month mark. And it's been a great experience. Probably have not had as much interaction with students as I would like to have, but I'm very excited for what you have been through and what you're going to experience in the years that are ahead, and I certainly hope you'll stay connected with the program and with the school. I want to take this opportunity to thank the faculty and staff who have been so great to work with me, to work with the students, and with the program. And many of them are, in fact, most of them, I think, are here today. We have somewhere in excess of 40 staff throughout the School of Management, which is part of the Tippie College. And I don't have time to thank every one of them, but they are just a tremendous group, and we've come through a lot together this year. I do want to single out one of the staff members who is very responsible for everything that has gone on today. And as we come here and enjoy the celebration, we sometimes don't understand how much tremendous work, planning, attention to detail there is behind that. And standing all the way at the back, at the door, is my administrative assistant, Sue Leischer. I'd like us all to give her a hand. Thank you, Sue. It has been a very exciting time to sort of drop into what's going on here at the university. If you have driven through town, you see that there is literally construction going on from north to south and east to west. Tremendous amount of things going on there. Likewise, in the School of Management, this is Dean Gardiel's second year. She's doing a great job of taking us through a strategic planning and now the implementation process. And there are just some very exciting things that are going on in the college, and we'll trust everyone will stay connected to us to see the exciting things that are coming in the next few years ahead. And since I don't see the parade any longer, I'm assuming everybody is back. Graduates, will you please rise? Audience, please join me in congratulating the MBA class of 2014. Thank you. Graduates, please be seated. Graduates, as new alumni of the University of Iowa in the Tippie College of Business, I hope you will remain connected in real ways to your alma mater and to each other and to our global alumni network. I also hope you will remain true to the 3 I's of the college: integrity, innovation, and impact. Samuel Johnson, the 18th century English poet, essayist, and moralist, said, "Integrity without knowledge is weak and useless, but knowledge without integrity is dangerous and dreadful." I trust that you will build your personal and professional lives on a foundation of integrity, striving for innovation and effecting a positive impact in your personal, political, social, and economic spheres of influence in our world. Make us proud to count you among the Tippie alumni. Graduates, you are now part owners of the great University of Iowa Tippie MBA program. Go with confidence and help us maintain the currency of your education and your degree by giving us feedback, staying in touch. I would like once again to thank our speaker, Diane Dillon-Ridgley, for her inspiring comments. Diane, will you please join me at the podium? On behalf of everyone gathered here today, we'd like to present you this small token of our appreciation. Thank you. And that comes very close to concluding our ceremony today. But as we leave, I'm going to ask the audience to remain seated while our graduates exit following the platform committee. Thank you all for celebrating with us, and we trust you enjoy the remainder of our day. If you are remaining with us for brunch, the event is in the Choral Ballroom, which is to your left as you exit the conference center. Thank you all for coming, and again, congratulations, graduates.